So I am recording us doing the work together. What I recommend is reading this section in the book first and then watching this video. So on the work together, we are going to be discussing, and this next section is about payroll. So payroll is, we're looking at how they pay us and what things are going to be going on. And so what we need to look at is how do they want to pay us? How are they doing the pay? And so let's look and see. It says it's rounding the hours to the nearest quarter. And so that means that whenever at 7:54, that will round to the nearest quarter means it's going to round either to the o'clock, 15, 30, 45. And so what is 7:54 closest to? 8. What is 11:57 closest to? 12. So in that time slot, she worked 8 hours. All right, 4 hours, excuse me. And then from 12:56, which rounds to 1, to 5:02, 1, 2, 3, so 2, 3, 4, 5 is 4 hours. So that gives a total of 8 hours. Now the overtime hours, how do we know if we have overtime hours? Overtime hours are any hours over 8 hours in a given day or 40 hours in a week. So you'd have to work more than 5 days a week to get overtime hours. That's just for the weekday, or for no regular hours. Or they worked, 8 1/4, 8, and something else. So now let's look at on Tuesday from 8 to 11:53. Well, 11:53 rounds to 12. So 8 to 12, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is 4 hours. 1:06. So that's going to round back to 1 to 5:02. So 4 hours. So 4 plus 4 is 8. Now we're going to do the next one, which is from 7:56 to 12:01. So 7:56, that's going to round to 8. 12:01 rounds to 12. So 8 to 12, we've been discussing that several times. That's 4 hours. 1 to 5, that's 1:04 rounds to 1. 5:01 rounds to 5. So 4 hours there. So 4 plus 4 is 8. Ooh, this next time they worked a morning, afternoon, and evening shift. I bet they're going to get overtime on this. Let's look and see. So they worked their normal morning time from about 8 to about 12, and when we round those, it's round there. And then they did the 1 to 5. So that gives us our 8 hours for regular. Now let's see how many overtime hours they had. They started off at 6, because that rounds to 6, and ended at 30. So 6 to 9:30, 7, 8, 9. That gives us 3 full hours. And 30 minutes is half an hour, so 3.5. Then on Friday, they didn't come in and work in the morning. They came in the afternoon and worked from 12 to 5. And the evening stayed from 6 to 10. So that still gives them the regular 8, because 6 to 10 is 4 hours. So that's the end of the week. On Saturday, if they had worked on Saturday, that would have been full overtime. Let's go ahead and I want y'all to go ahead and fill in the next several dates and then come back and look at the screen and see if you have it correct. On Tuesday, they worked an extra hour later, so that would make it have 1 hour of overtime. On Saturday, we have already worked 40 hours. So anytime they work on Saturday, it's considered overtime. So 10 05 rounds to 10. 105 rounds to 1. So 11, 12, 1. 3 hours of overtime on Saturday. No time counts as regular time because they have reached their 40-hour max for the week. And then if your pay scale is every twice a month, then that means that you're going to have more than usually 80 hours in a pay period. So in this case, they worked 8 hours on Monday because from 8 to 12, 4, and 1 to 5 is 4. So to get your totals, you add up your column, and you have 88 regular and 7.5 overtime. Grade that step. Now let's go on to the next one. So this next step, we're actually going to calculate their pay. Again, it just gives you what we just did up here. The important information is this information down here at the bottom, our totals. Let's read over the information. We're doing the time card data from Alice and some other employees. We enter the regular and overtime hours from Ms. Weber from up here. And for each employee, calculate the regular, overtime, and total earnings. Overtime is 1.5 times the regular rate. Round dollar amounts to the nearest cent. So what that means when we're calculating overtime, and please excuse this is mouse handwriting, we'll do our pay times, oh gosh, our rate. Excuse me. I wrote that backwards. That was supposed to be hours. So H for our hours times our rate times 1.5. I can't do a 5, it doesn't look like. And that's going to be our overtime. That's how we're going to calculate overtime. I will talk y'all through that. I'm sorry that chicken scratch did not work. I'll try to see if I can find another way of doing this at another point. So hopefully I'll figure out how to annotate on this better. So let's go ahead and do the first employee. The first employee worked 80 hours regular, and they earn $9 an hour. And so that means that, so their 80 times their 9 gives us $720 that they earned. They worked 5 hours in overtime. So you will do 5 times 9 times 1.5. And you should get 67.5. Add those numbers together and you get 787.50 cents. So for the next week, we have to do, for the next person, we do 80 times 12.50, which is 1,000. And then their overtime hours, which is 3 times 12.50 times the 1.5 gives us 56.25. And that gives us a total of 1,056.25. Now person 3, 70 times 9.75 gives them $682.50. It's 82.56. And now we're down to Alex's information. And so she worked 88 regular hours and 7.5 overtime. And so we do 88 times 11, and that gives us 968. We'll do 750 times 11 times 1.5. We end up with 123.75. Which gives us a total, when we add those together, of $1,091.75. Go ahead and grade that, and you should have all of them right at this point. Oops. Oh, I wrote the number backwards. That should be 968. Sorry. Use Google Classroom to contact me if you have any questions. Or email.